Hello, and welcome to another open-ended D100 video. Today's going to be something that I've recently been playing around with and found quite fascinating when it comes to uh, creation in general, but also when you're dealing with role-playing games or running a session as a game master or as a player, or looking for content or pictures or things to make your sessions better. The first one I'm going to show you is ChatGPT. I'm sure you might have heard of it already. It's taken the internet by storm this week alone. But if you haven't played around with it, I highly recommend that you do. It's a pretty amazing, eye-opening piece of AI. You get there by going to the chat.openai.com. Just Google uh, ChatGPT and go to it. You can log in with your Google account or your Facebook, I think, or you can create an account at ChatGPT. Pretty easy to get into as long as the server's not overloaded. But the only time I found the server overloaded was Saturday morning, which is expected. But anyway, the way it works, you come in here and you just ask the AI a question. And for our purposes, we're going to demonstrate it from you as a dungeon master or trying to come up with a creative idea for a story or novel or piece of flavor text. All you do is come down here and say, describe a dungeon entrance as a DM would. And he's going to give you a reply. And it's going to be pretty entertaining. And that's your a quick and thrown together description. So you want to, what does the first room look like? And let's see what it gives us. As you can see, it gives you a lot of information that you can edit, change. If you don't want your floor to be slippery and uneven, that's fine. You can change that. But the other descriptors you can keep and modify to your liking to save you a lot of your creative thinking. I'm not worried about AI taking away our ability to creatively think. If you use this long enough, you realize that yes, it can come up with some great generalized descriptions that you may not have thought of, but you are much better suited to go in there and make it even more descriptive. So we can even dig deeper into what it's describing to us. It says in the center of the room is a large pedestal, ancient carvings. I could say describe the carvings and symbols. Now it knows, ChatGPT knows that your session with the bot is a conversation. It remembers what you've last talked about, as you'll see here. So as you can see, it can get very descriptive. Now we know he said that there's a crystal on top of this podium, and he described it as being pulsating light illumination. It gives off an otherworldly hum. So you can ask him what power does the crystal contain? Now he's going to give you the generic. It's your job to decide, but then he's going to give you some options. Here he says it could be a powerful artifact, magical properties. It could imprison a malevolent entity or spirit. It could have great knowledge or wisdom. It could be a power conduit. It could be a powerful weapon. All these things are options that you can use to expand what is this crystal. So it's a very handy tool to save you time when you sit down and try to go, what? Well, here's an item that is just out of the blue. Now I've got an item for my campaign. I've got my MacGuffin, or I've got something that can further the quest that another branch that my players can undergo. And even if they ask a question and say this crystal was just background noise, and then one of your player examines it, wants to know more about it. If you've got ChatGPT up in your session, you have a computer, you can quickly figure out a route to go with it. I can even say, what's the history? What is the history? Or what is the origin history of the crystal? He gives you the standard boilerplate, but then he's going to give me some options. It created by a group of powerful mages. One of them, our weapon of war, a divine artifact, a result of the great magical experiment gone awry. Piece of technology. As you see, these are pretty good scraps of a larger story that you can put together with the information that they've given you. And you can use this for even larger projects. Say I wanted we're going to start a new chat because I don't want him to use what we've already talked about. So we'll say, can you give me a single session, a single evening scenario for a session I can run my players through as the DM. And he's going to give me a scenario for a single evening. And there you go, a quick, dirty session. Now, you realize after you run a few of these that this ChatGPT really loves bandits. So we need to focus him away from bandits. So let's try the same prompt. It doesn't contain bandits and has orcs in it. So just like if you fool around with AR, you have to be really, your prompts matter and the order of the prompts matter. So just keep picking at it until it gives you the result, kind of what you're after. Now, we can use the same thing we used before here. He said that they're trying to find the artifact. Well, if we don't want to come up with our own artifact, let's ask him what it is. What would, and you can make him, when you say something, can you describe, or can you give me? He's going to give you the standard boilerplate that, or what would a DM do? He's going to give you that boilerplate, and then give you some examples. You can make him get more specific if you say, what would you describe artifact that they are looking for as? And let's see if he say, and now he's a little more specific. I didn't narrow it down enough to make him describe it, but it is less, here are some options. He's actually trying to do it himself. And he's described some properties of it. It's just a sword. It's imbued with magical energy. It can cut through any material. He's also used to be a staff. It can cast powerful spells. A ring that grants immense strength and vitality. And then, of course, you get some more help as far as working this into the story. But we're going to narrow him down a little bit more. Let's say describe in detail this ring that grants. And I could just say describe the ring. He hasn't said anything about ring. He's going to know I'm talking about the ring that grants strength and vitality, but I want to emphasize we want to keep those values. And here's your description for when the players actually find this item. It even gives you the feeling that the players would have as they wear the ring. And some more properties. Oh, it even has a dark side. The cost of using such a thing. So there you see, the ChatGPT is a super handy tool for you as a dungeon master or a creator in general to use. I mean, if you're a programmer, if you're a website designer, you just look at some of the YouTube videos on what people are doing with this. But as our area that I do videos on is about making content with in the role-playing realm, this is more focused to the DMs and the GMs out there. So play around with it. It's free right now. I'm not sure what the pricing structures will be in the future, but right now it's in beta and it's free, so get out there and make some use of it. Last night I did one where I asked it to give me an entire campaign, and it came up with a very rich campaign. I specified that would go on for approximately 4 sessions, and it gave me a limited campaign that could be stretched over 4. I also asked for a grand campaign, and it gave me a gigantic campaign idea, which included a MacGuffin that I narrowed him down to be this super powerful artifact with potential to destroy the entire world. So it's extremely creative, using all the combined knowledge that has been stored up to the year 2021 as its current, what they trained it on. It doesn't have access to the internet. If you look up how it works, it's based on I'm sure the internet prior to 2021. It does, in other words, it doesn't go out and seek current information. This version is based on information that existed prior to 2021. So if you search some newer things, it may not show up. But if you're searching for older stuff, it knows. I asked it a specific question about role-playing systems, and it nailed it. My son he's big into Warhammer Fantasy, and he asked me all kind of questions to ask it about Skaven, and it amazed him at everything. It knew everything there was to know about Skaven and their culture and history and lifestyle and beliefs. So it's which fits right into our area, because most of what we do was created in these 70s, 80s, and 90s time frames. So it's going to have a lot of knowledge about role playing games during those time frames. So get out there and play with it. And this is opening the D100, giving you another video to help you out with your role playing activities. And I plan on doing another one of these on the graphic AI side, and how you can use it to make your image creation and images for your campaigns or visual image in using the same technology. Thank you for watching.